This is currently Apple's most affordable phone at starting at $899. And while last time Apple dropped an affordable phone was in March of 2022, and that hovered around I think $500 or $600. So what exactly are we paying for in this new iPhone 16e? Let's find out. First up is the design, and Apple actually does this quite often, is where they repackage their old tech that they built over the last couple of years. You get the same flat edges, aluminum build, and then this time you get a matte back instead of a glass infused back. You also have no fun pastel colors like they did in the previous, I guess, lower models. And here's the thing, you get no more Touch ID. It's all Face ID on the new model, and you still are stuck with the notch. So yeah, the home button era is officially over. Probably say goodbye to that now, it's been a couple years, but yeah, no more home button. The design obviously feels way more modern than the previous SE model. That's because it's been a couple years since that's been released. But here's the thing, this phone is still only 60 Hz, and it's kind of surprising because a lot of mid-range Android phones have 120 Hz. So I'm kind of shocked that this doesn't. However, it is Apple, and obviously they want to, keep that part of their phone exclusive to the high-end models like the Pros. But yeah, no 120 Hz screen this time. And I guess we probably won't have that in the next one either, or any like base model entry-level iPhone. There's also no camera button on this phone, and if that was a game changer for you, then look into the Pro models. However, you do get a action button on the side, and you can control, whatever you can control in your previous models on the phone, including Apple Intelligence. More on that in a minute. Another surprising change on the newest model is you don't get any MagSafe on this. It actually does not come with any MagSafe, so you won't be able to use it with your MagSafe technology, or MagSafe accessories in this case. So yeah, you only get regular QI wireless charging, which is slower than watching paint dry in the phone world. This one's kind of surprising to me because the whole point of having an SE or an E model in this case is having all the old engineered technology that Apple already spent money on to build and engineer into, in a more affordable phone. So not having anything as simple as MagSafe is kind of a shocker to me. I thought that would be standard by now across all phone models, including the cheapest one at this point. All right, so let's talk performance. The new iPhone 16e comes with an A18 chip, the same one that you see on the iPhone 16. However, this one has one less GPU core. That's not a deal breaker, to be honest, because at the end of the day, this phone is more of an entry level, and you only get one less GPU core, and you won't really notice that if you're, unless you're gaming hard on the phone and you're playing games that are heavily GPU reliant, you won't really notice one less core. But still, the new phone still handles really well. Apps open quickly. I mean, if you're coming from 120 Hz, for example, if you're an Android user that has a 120 Hz screen and you hop onto this one, it's gonna feel a little slower than usual just because of the refresh rate. However, even then, the apps open quickly and everything runs kind of smooth. All right, so Apple AI. Apple AI, or Apple Intelligence, whatever they're calling it now, shows up in small ways here actually. You have a pretty powerful chip, and you get all your AI features that you get in the latest phones on this phone. Live translate in iMessage, email summarization, and other AI features that are available work surprisingly well in this phone. And obviously one cool thing about this one is now you can control your Apple visual assistants with the action button, which is actually not available on the 15 Pro Max that I currently have. So let's talk about the iPhone 16e camera system. You get one lens, but you still get two types of photos. You get the 1x lens and a 2x lens. You have a 48 megapixel and a 24 megapixel fusion camera system, which allows you, to utilize both type of lens in one system. This setup still allows you to zoom in using 2x with optical quality, and obviously allows you to have two cameras with one system. The low light sensor is still pretty good, and if you're not a full-on photography head person, you can still get by with this. The E actually does get rid of some photo and video options. You don't get any spatial photos, and you also don't get video portraits with, focus depth control. So all in all, the phone definitely reminds you that you are using an entry-level iPhone, and to each their own, but so far this phone is kind of looking like, genuinely an entry-level phone for your mom or your dad, or someone that doesn't really care too much about these options, and just can get by with using a regular phone with some pretty good features, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. But battery life and charging is something that we all can agree on, no matter what phone, whether you're a phone person or not, is pretty important to everyone. And they've definitely made some improvements on the new 16e. So the iPhone 16e is rated for 26 hours of video playback, which is far greater than the iPhone SE in the previous generation, and it's 6 hours more than the 11 Pro Max. That's a pretty solid improvement over the years. Obviously nothing close to the new iPhone 16s, Pro Maxes, but definitely a very, very, good improvement overall in such a small body. So now for one of the biggest changes in the new iPhone 16e is your C1 modem chip. replacing Qualcomm's 5G modem. And this is a pretty big change for Apple since they're going in-house with their chip. But if it's something similar to their A series chips, I think it's a pretty good benefit for us as users as well, and I guess for Apple itself, because it's all in-house, gives them more control over what the chip can really do and how software updates can improve the chip overall. Currently, it's going to improve hopefully the battery life for when you're using 5G. But since this is Apple's first in-house modem chip, I guess you could expect some performance issues, but hopefully since they have control over the chip entirely, maybe software updates can really help boost that performance or fix any bugs later on. The iPhone 16 definitely stands out as a compelling option for those looking for performance or affordability in between. With the inclusion of the A18 chip and the C1 modem and a host of AI features, as it does lack some pro model features, it's still a affordable kind of phone. For the price tag it is, in my opinion, is still pretty expensive. And does that mean that the new iPhone 17 is going to be even more expensive than it was this year? Time will tell. Again, are you willing to buy this for someone or even yourself? I think it's definitely a gift I'd get my mom or something. Like, it's not something that I would get for myself. But I guess, yeah, a lot of people have been saying that it's a phone that you would buy your mom or your dad. But yeah, anyway, that is the new iPhone 16e. Again, do you plan on purchasing this, or do you want to wait till September, iPhone 17 release that we might have? Or do you think this is a crazy expensive phone and the E actually just stands for expensive? But yes, let's talk in the comments. And again, this might be expensive, but remember, subscribing and liking is always free. And who doesn't like free stuff? Thanks so much for watching. Take care.